Welcome to my channel. It's me, your friendly aviation enthusiast, here to talk about the operating parameters and limitations of a specific aircraft. Let's dive right in. Operating RPMs limits. Mashatir. When it comes to RPMs, we have a few key figures to remember. The takeoff RPM is set at 5,500 rotations per minute and should not exceed 5 minutes. The maximum continuous RPM is 5,300. While the idle RPM should be around 1400 in ISA conditions. For a 75% power cruise setting, the RPMs vary depending on altitude. At sea level, it's 5300 RPM. At 5000 FT, it's 5500 RPM. And at 8000 FT and above, it's 5800 RPM. Keep in mind that these RPM settings may slightly differ for different aircraft due to engine and aircraft aging. It's important to note that no takeoff should be attempted if the maximum RPM is less than 5,200. As the aircraft ages, the maximum continuous RPM can be maintained at 5,000. Additionally, the cruise RPM settings may vary between 4,800 and 5,000 with the aging of the aircraft. So, before attempting cross-country flights, it's crucial to have a thorough knowledge of the aircraft's fuel consumption at various RPM settings. Fuel consumption. Let's talk about fuel consumption now. At takeoff rating, the aircraft consumes 24 liters per hour. At maximum continuous rating, it reduces slightly to 6 liters per hour. And at a 75% continuous rating, the consumption further decreases to 2 liters per hour. Acceleration. When it comes to acceleration, there are some limits to keep in mind. The engine's operation at 0G and -G should not exceed 5G for a maximum of 5 seconds. Oil pressure. Oil pressure is an essential parameter to monitor. And the minimum oil pressure should be 12 psi below 3,500 RPM, and the normal range is between 29 and 73 psi above 3,500 RPM. As for the maximum oil pressure, it's 101. 5 psi, but this is only admissible for a short period during cold start. Oil temperature. And maintaining the right oil temperature is crucial for the engine's health. The minimum oil temperature should be 50 degrees Celsius, while the normal range is between 90 to 110 degrees Celsius. It's important to note that the aircraft's dry sump lubrication system provides lubrication in all flight conditions up to a maximum bank angle of 40 degrees. So no worries there. Cylinder head coolant temperature. The cylinder head temperature is another parameter to keep an eye on. The minimum recommended temperature is 50 degrees Celsius, while the ideal range is between 50 to 110 degrees Celsius. However, make sure not to exceed the maximum temperature of 150 degrees Celsius. Engine start operating temperature. Okay? Let's talk about engine start operating temperature. The minimum temperature required for engine start is 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature should not exceed 50 degrees Celsius. Fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is crucial for proper engine functioning. The minimum fuel pressure should be at least 2 psi, while the maximum fuel pressure allowed is 5.8 psi. Coolant mixing ratio. When it comes to coolant, it's important to maintain the right mixing ratio. If you're using concentrated coolant, make sure to mix it with 50% antifreeze coolant and 50% distilled water. However, if you're using an already diluted or waterless coolant, no additional mixing is required. Oil capacity. Finally, let's talk about oil capacity. The maximum oil capacity is 3 liters, and it's important to ensure that at least 2 liters are maintained at all times. Additionally, the maximum oil consumption should not exceed 1 liter per hour Ignition circuit, last but not least, we have the ignition circuit. When checking the magneto drop at 4,000 RPM, it should be around 300 RPM. The maximum difference in magneto drop should not exceed 120 RPM. That's it for the operating parameters and limitations of this aircraft. Remember, understanding and adhering to these parameters is essential for safe and efficient flying. Stay tuned for more aviation insights on this channel.